now watching Thrift Dweller TV. Check us out. With all the videos that have been out lately, most of them were, Nathaniel showing the bulk of his collection. As you may know, I am the music guy in Thrift Dweller. I've been collecting CDs ever since, at the age of 12, 13, started buying CDs. I guess it didn't get massive up until maybe I got a job when I was 16. I started buying CDs. Not, on the regular, but, I'd buy stuff that I was looking for. And ever since I've been going thrifting, maybe it's a good 10 years now, it's been slowly getting bigger and bigger. And, there was a time where I was at a stagnant point of 500. And, I found out that Nathaniel was into thrifting too. It's kind of funny because, you hang out with your friend all the time and stuff. And, he didn't really go thrifting until he met Colleen. So, I'm going over all my stuff. And I guess I'll start with the floor here. If you notice, these are in plastic pages. I bought all of these for $20 at a pawn shop. The guy wanted $50 for it, but no one really buys anything up there. So I told him all the CDs in that binder were useless, and I gave him $20. Now the cool thing about the binder, 95% of it was all hip hop and stuff I was missing. The Brat, her 90s albums. Another Tantrum and Functified. Personal favorite, Functified. Now here, DMX's discography when he was on Def Jam before he left. So I have all 5 of his Def Jam albums. It was a great deal. Like, I wouldn't have bought this if if they didn't even have some stuff complete. So this would be all the stuff I bought, and this. So this would be all my hip hop CDs. I'm close to 500. There was a time where I was only looking for stuff that I was into, mostly 90s because we grew up in the 90s. So, at the time we didn't really have money to buy CDs. So it's great to find all these at pawn shops and thrift stores for like really cheap. So I'll go over my favorites here. I love KRS-One. If you have a friend, starting to get into hip-hop, KRS-One is good to start off on. Staples of hip-hop here. Tribe Called Quest. People's Instinctive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm. Classic. The Low in Theory. Classic. Midnight Marauders. Classic. Beats, Rhymes, and Life. Classic. And The Love Movement. I have all their albums. I even have their remix album, Revised Quest for the Seasoned Traveler. Found this cheap for like $1. I like these. Tribe Called Quest. You can't go wrong with Tribe Called Quest. Souls of Mischief. I got their 90s stuff. 93 Till Infinity. That's a classic as well. And No Man's Land. Love Souls of Mischief. Good West Coast stuff. A lot of people, they like West Coast stuff, like the gangster West Coast stuff. If you like something different from the West Coast, check out Souls of Mischief. Love them. Some East Coast stuff here. I love Onyx. I have all their 90s albums too. Shut 'Em Down. All We Got Is Us. And Back the Fuck Up. Oh man, I used to have this on tape. Love this. Now, a personal favorite of mine that I have here. I guess I'd pick one here. Deltron 3030. A long story. I was going through a breakup last summer, and Nathaniel was nice enough to bring me to the CD store, I guess to get my mind off things, and I found this for 99 cents. Now on to my R&B collection. I love R&B and soul music, especially from the 90s and 80s. Stuff like New Edition, Troop, DeBarge. If you're into like really early 80s R&B. I got complete discographies: Mariah Carey, Blackstreet, Aaliyah, Jodeci. I'll go over my favorites from this collection here. If anyone's familiar with, you know, Brandy and Monica in the 90s, she got lost in the mix. This is Mona Lisa, her first and only album, 11/20/79. This is, if I had a choice, sometimes I wish she got bigger than Brandy and Monica. This girl can sing. Escape, I have all their albums. I have SWVs and TLCs, all their albums too. But I love Escape. Off the Hook is a personal favorite of mine. If you love R&B, I definitely recommend Escape. Awesome group. Awesome group. DeBarge. I mentioned earlier I love DeBarge. They only made 4,000 of these. This is their complete discography, which was released last year. It has all 4 of their albums, which is hard to find on CD because they put it all out on... they re-released them on CD in Japan a couple of years ago, but they go for $30 each. Sometimes they go up to 60. But last year, they re-released this, or they released a whole package of all their CDs. All digitally mastered, sounds good, better than the vinyl. They only made 4,000. And they were selling this for $30. So that's a good deal. You get 4 albums for $30. And they only made 4,000. As stated on their website. So I'm so happy I got this. I love DeBarge. If you're into, you know, 80s R&B soul music, definitely grab this if you can. And I'm into other music. The collection's kind of small. It's mostly metal, pop, punk, stuff like that. You know, Amy Winehouse. I love Amy Winehouse. I got all her albums. This was the new one that came out last year. And this edition set was only released in Europe. The Frank and Back to Black box set. Comes with a box set of 4 CDs. Frank and Back to Black, the UK Ultimate, you know, special editions that were only released in UK. They released this as a box set there. This was cheap. I got it for like $20. I love this. I love Amy Winehouse. For fans of metal, you know, stuff that's screaming in your ear. I love Killswitch Engage. I have their first 2 CDs when they had their original singer, Jesse Leach. I love Killswitch Engage. With this version, this is their first album. They re-released this a couple of years ago on Roadrunner Records. This is their first album when it was just released on an independent label. You could tell because it's a white label. It looks ghetto. It looks fake, but it's not. It's the real CD. Oh, I'm happy I have this. I love Killswitch Engage. I love System of a Down. I got all their albums as well. And I love Smashing Pumpkins when they were still together, the original band. I have all their stuff when they were still together. I know they just had a new album, but you know, it doesn't count when they don't have like James Iha and stuff like that. Now, I know a lot of people that are not really down with Linkin Park, but I have a really good story with Linkin Park. This was my first CD I ever bought at a thrift store 10 years ago. So in 2002, you know, my ex at the time, you know, I told her, hey, let's go to Value Village. I've never been in there. I go in there and I found this CD for $3. I bought it only because, you know, I had a friend who was into Linkin Park back in high school. You know, it's not a bad album, but, you know, if anything, it just has value to me because it was the first CD I've ever bought at a thrift store. So, yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Linkin Park. It's really emo. So, yeah. This is my CD collection. All 900, and I lost count. It's either 903 or 904 now. It's awesome. So, thanks for subscribing to us. We really appreciate it. And we'll have a lot more to come for the summer. It's going to be crazy. Thanks, guys. For those who are wondering if I bring my collection around with me, yes I do. I have a 160 gig iPod with my whole CD collection, and yeah, it's awesome.